Wicked people. Right. Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. The 21st of October 2018. Eerily reminiscent of the 21st of October 2017. Why? Because today I found myself living the exact same day that I lived 12 months ago. Today I was distributing, packing, serving survivors of a flood caused by rain that the government didn't prepare for. Now, there are people who would come on any conversation and tell you, this is what I said, don't cry over spilled milk. Now is not the time to talk. Now is the time to pull up our socks and help. Check me now. Check me tonight. Miss me with that bullshit. On the day Kamla Persad-Bissessar was sworn in, on the day in 2010, May 26, 2010, it was an epic flood. And Kamla had to leave her swearing in and go on tour Diego Martin. Remember that? I remember that well. Because we had to rescue a man who died under a bridge next door to where I was living. So I remember that because that flood passed through my house and I lost a lot of stuff, like a lot of people in Diego Martin. Fast forward 2 years later, it happened again in Diego Martin. Fast forward 1 year after that, it happened again in Maraval. This time in Maraval, it destroyed the country club wall. The second one in Diego Martin missed us and destroyed Crystal Gardens in PT Valley, pulled down those walls and stuff. The year later in Maraval destroyed Country Club's wall. Keith Rowley comes into office in 2015. In 2017, there is a flood in Central and they call the people alligators and they say they're building in the lagoon. The same exact flood happens again today. That's 5 times that I remember. That's 5 times that I remember. So all the people who don't want to cry over spilled milk, cry. All the people who think then wasn't the time to talk, when? When is it time to talk? When is it time to say that our governments are shit snakes, bullshit artists, drawing money under false pretenses? There is a tribe of monkeys in Africa, chimpanzees actually, that scientists have filmed doing something remarkable. The chimpanzees have organized themselves into a hunting group and they hunt smaller monkeys. No other chimpanzees nowhere does this. No other chimpanzees nowhere else on the planet does this. And scientists have surmised that the only way that these chimpanzees could know how to organize themselves into a rear guard, flanks, and a forward attack is by watching man watching humans and learn how to do it. And they learn it so well that generations in that tribe of monkeys now adopt this. No other monkey does this. You could Google this and it will shock you. They hunt other monkeys. Rear guard, side flank. When they set up, it's like an army going to war. Rear guard, side flanks, and a forward attack. Once everybody in place and forward attack launch, monkey dead. Monkey dead. And the only way they could have done that is to learn. Those chimpanzees learned that if you come at the monkey forward, he is going to turn and either run straight away from you or dart left or right. And no matter what he does, something is waiting for him. That is called preparation, planning, execution. Chimpanzees could do it. Chimpanzees understand that you've identified the monkey. You have your team. You two, you're all the back. You two, side flanks. We coming at him from in the front. All of we sharing this monkey when we catch it. Chimpanzees understands that. They learned that you can plan. Imagine, you have the chimpanzees. Scientists realize chimpanzees, this plan requires you to imagine scenarios. Imagine a scenario that if I come at you and you go so. That's how critical thinking works. If this, logical deduction. If this, then that. That's how it works. If this, then that. The government's job is not to have shorty boys, stunt artists, bullshit propagandists for hire, shame and demonize people where they live. That's not what a government is for. A government's job is to safeguard and steward the nation to the benefit of all the people. That's their job. That is the entirety of the job description. Keith Rowley's job is not to go in the Oval and lie with Shah Rukh Khan and pull up little Indian girls. That is not what he is being paid for. He could do that on his time. His job now is to understand that he sits in the chair that calls the shots of all the ministers, that organizes and prepares for any catastrophe, any drama, any disaster. But he can't. Unlike the chimpanzees, who could learn from experience, plan, and execute, Keith Rowley cannot. Keith Rowley is a waste of time. And today, all of those people who are crying, who have lost everything, are victims of a cold, crass, careless, hard-hearted, incompetent, dysfunctional failure of a government. Anytime you have to resort to talking about what the last man or woman did in the office, you fail already. You fail already. If you have to tell me that your failure is less of a failure than somebody else's failure, and you are my employee, I will fire you. Do not ever use somebody else's experience as your example. I am paying you for what you say you could do. I'm not paying Kamala. We fired her. You said you could do the job. You brought your string band, Faris, Stuart, Colm, look the clip. We could handle, so we hired you. What is going on? The last flood, 2017, you didn't help anybody. You shamed them. You said, you sent that snarling reprobate Fitzgerald Hines to demonize and scandalize them. You call them alligators and they're living in a swamp from a murky lagoon. You remember them things? Who tell they build in the swamp, who tell they build in the lagoon? And you didn't help. You didn't help them. You demonized them. You use a close approximation to social division to justify not helping them. This is now 2018, and we are going through the exact same situation right now. And the same bunch of jackasses in government right now. The only thing that is worse is this flood is distracting people from bringing that son of a bitch and his band of bandits to justice over scandals, over the Tobago Sea Bridge, over Petrotrin, and many other things. Keith Rowley is destroying the country, where the judges and the lawyers and the DPPs and the independent thinkers, where civil society, where the pundits and the imams and the priests, where the nuns, where the teachers, where the people of Trinidad and Tobago to stand up for this country. If Abu Bakr was doing what Rowley doing with a handbacker, Rowley is getting away under the pretense of being prime minister. He is not. He has failed long time ago. It is time for a general election. It is time to fire this man. And the only way to fire him is to wait on an election or shut the country down. There are essential workers in Trinidad and Tobago who cannot strike. Because if they go on strike, they'll be in trouble with the law. So we can't encourage them to stay away. But everybody else could. You see, I keep telling you, half a boat can't sink and the other half go its merry way. This country is not Haiti. There's only 1.4 million people here. When you frustrate them to the point, I don't know if Christian Mute is thinking it through, but when the 30,000 people fall out from Petrotrin really happens, who going to buy a Subway and your KFC, bro? Who going in TGI Fridays? Who? Who is going in Price Mart? Who? You need a salary and an income for that. We are forcing the nation into a collapse. I am watching people trip over themselves trying to defend the madness that is taking place in the government. I watched an inspector of police come on Hema Ramkisoon show to frighten the nation. Though I talk the government, I see the shot. What absolute freaking madness are you hearing? This government that come to power, bad talking everybody, marching wrong every corner, wrong every building, wrong every roundabout. Abdullah, Roger, and Rowley. All of a sudden, is sedition? Is this the country under attack from its government? Is that what this is? There are people in this country who feel themselves so big, so above the law that they're doing what they want. Kiss Baking Company comes to mind. I thought it would have shamed Bermudez for his business to reach in the road, for people to see that every regional corporation saying that Kiss Baking Company is a conspiracy of criminals, that they are breaking the freaking law every single day across the road from police stations. Paul Daniel Nahus, my friend, Alderman, Diego Martin Regional Corporation, he and I spoke. He knows that Diego Martin Regional Corporation needs to take action. And there is some sticking point between breaking the law and application of the law at that level. So now we have to take the system to court. We have to prosecute as if we are the government and take the system to court to force people who are being paid to do a job to do the job. Can you imagine the madness that is this country? In any other nation, all manner of systems, including the media, would have tripped on already and activated Today I asked a question. Today I asked a question. And it became a series of questions. Because somebody told me, again, and I just reminded you of 5 major floods. 2 that destroyed Diego Martin, 1 that destroyed Maraval, and 2 that lick up Central, South, and Central and East. So I asked this question today. Because if you say that it's not political, then what is it? Knowing that this weather was coming a week in advance, why weren't shelters readied and response crews activated? Why weren't sandbags stockpiled and distributed in the expected impact zones and low-lying areas through local government? Why weren't the helicopters and drones deployed to give real-time updates to citizens in need of evacuation? Who in any office of state was monitoring the rising levels in the nation's rivers and updating the citizens in close proximity? Where was the Organization of Disaster Preparedness and Management, ODPM? Were they preparing? Did they manage? Where were the Ministry of Works engineers and equipment to create emergency drains, runoffs, and berms? Why was there no one to respond to the alarms of rising flood waters being raised by the citizens, despite hundreds of managers, engineers, and workers paid for exactly this purpose? Why a full 24 hours after the impact of a week of heavy rains and reports of rising flood waters, the government still appeared to have no plan? As to a response, the regional corporations were all missing in action. The army and police nowhere to be found. Today, Wayne Sturge posted. You see, when people posting shit on Facebook, some of you always read that and say, okay, it's on Facebook. Abraham Lincoln tell you, once it's on Facebook, believe it. But now Wayne Sturge is starting to ask these aldermen and regional corporation councillors for facts. How many shelters do you have operational? Asking of the people who are in charge of that, and they say, well, we're not really sure. But you're posting all over Facebook that it's up and running. So if it's up and running, and it requires you to operationalize it, and you don't know, how could that be possible? Where were the updates from the Ministry of Communications and the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to guide the citizens to prevent the hours wasted in gridlock to nowhere on Saturday? Why does the Ministry of Planning continue to give permission to remove mangroves, to build movie towns and strip malls and warehouse complexes so they could continue to sprawl, leaving the rainwater nowhere to go? How many times must we have this same exact disaster in different locations before we learn from it, prepare for it, and manage the fallout of it? If the function of leadership is knowing how to lead, understanding that the government's job is to manage and safeguard the entire nation to the well-being and benefit of all citizens, if politics is about managing the issues that affect the people, if this is not political, then pray tell, what is? What is political? Because the word politics comes from the name of a book by Aristotle, not Aristotle. Not Aristotle. There's a different philosopher that only the owners of brand source know. See, when you could buy your girlfriend a job in the Senate, you sent a stunting jackass to stand up in the People's Senate and stand up and quote Aristotle. Because a Senate seat is for sale based on how much you donate to the party. But Aristotle, da politica, the management of the city-state, is when we first encounter the word politics, about the affairs of the people. This is the affairs of the people. When it fell in Diego Martin and killed that man under the bridge from Rich Plain, that was in the hills. When it fell in Diego Martin and Petite Valley again the other day and the water reached about 5 feet on the highway, that is still the high point of Trinidad. That's not the floodplain. When it fell in Maraval, Maraval is a valley runoff, but it's still a high point. It's still a high point. These two that happen under Rowley that they're talking, Alligator and Murky Lagoon and Swamp, yes, these are floodplains. But the lesson is the same. That we have taken the natural open ground that rainfall soaks into and concretize it. We concretize it so the rainfall in volume have nowhere to go. The normal rainfall, we calculate it and we build box drains to catch it and chase it away like a nuisance. Send it out into the sea. We don't want you. We want to be able to pay $600 a truckload from the water truck mafia. We want to be able to bribe people to get us water because WASA, the Water and Sewage Authority, have no idea what they're doing. Somebody sent me a message today. Water, water everywhere, except in my pipes where it's supposed to be. Isn't that a level of toxic insanity? Are we not worse than chimpanzees that could learn? Do you know that in the Everglades, crocodiles, and is it crocodiles or alligators? Alligators. When they get to be a certain age after they're born, they search to find stones, rocks that they ingest. Rocks, stones into their gut that stays with them for the rest of their lives in the Everglades in Florida. And those stones in their gut help crush up the meat. They learned that. They've learned that. Something teaches them that is the way to go. It's now in their genetics. That is logical, deductive thinking. Why can't we who have the capability and the capacity to slingshot machinery into space beyond the edges of our universe, we've gotten messages from the edge of space that took 2 years to come here. The message. Why can't we plan for the increased rain? Listen. Listen. People saying, this is magic. This is sorcery. This is extra heavy rain. Well, by Christ, shut the whole country down. Give back the plans. Give it back. Tell the Queen, come and take over. Because we are shit snakes. We are jackasses. We are clueless, less than monkeys. Alligators brighter than we. Because we can't figure out yet what the whole world will figure out. Holland is under seawater permanently. But they don't flood. Rain does fall there now. Rain does fall in Holland. And they have to find a way to get the rain up and over into a sea level that is higher than Holland. And they don't flood. 400 years now. Before electricity was invented, they don't flood. New Orleans flooded once, Katrina. Katrina was a massive storm. And it burst a levee. That's all it took. An opening. It made an opening. So it flooded. But before Katrina, for 150 years, New Orleans, a bowl, a literal bowl, rain falls and is taken out to sea without flooding. In Japan, they've built storm drains because Japan gets something called typhoons, which is like a hurricane on steroids. And they've built storm drains to run into storm caverns that they've built. These massive multi-million gallon catacombs, and it's open to the public except when an alarm and a siren goes off that says rain is falling, and they are going to be opening the sluice gates that allows all of the anticipated rain that could come in a typhoon to fill up in here. Imagine that. Before it even gets to stay on the ground an inch, there's somewhere for it to go. We are jackasses from the Jackass clan. Because half of the year we in drought. Half of the year WASA tells us It is too much rain, so you can't get water. It's not enough rain, so you can't get water. Wassa is in the you can't get water business. And all it would take is a monkey with a wrench to figure out that if we store this water, more rain fell in the past 5 days than we could consume in the next 10 years. That was all we needed. If rain never fell again for 10 years, but we had caught and stored that, we'd have enough water. Wash your car, wash your dog, wash your neighbor, wash down any, you know, I tell people, my father, when I was small, used to wash down the yard. I don't know what was his preoccupation with the hose. And the yard, he used to wash down the yard, wash down the drain in front of the house, wash the road in front of the house. He had that hose on a Sunday. I know, because I used to have to wrap back up the freaking hose. I hated that. But plenty of Trinidadians like that. Because he used to be talking to the neighbor outside with his hose too, and all of them washing down. What the frig you washing? We stopped washing down that break in the society because you can't wash your car. You had to bathe in a bucket. You had to flush your toilets on Tuesdays and Thursdays of alternate weeks. Our insanity is that we've accepted this tomfoolery as government. We've accepted the excuses because she black, he Indian. He black, she Indian. We black, they Indian. What the frig is wrong with us? What is so broken in us that we allow ourselves to get caught up in the bullshit thick of thin things? You could imagine Stuart Young, Chinese backside, engaging himself in black and Indian politics. How the hell did we get here? Why are we stuck here? There are pumps on ships that could suck. The water that has our highway blocked could suck it dry in 24 hours. There are pumps on ships, I kid you not. There are ships who have pumps so powerful that they could suck soil from the bottom of the ocean and build a new island. That's what they used to build Palms and the World and all those islands of Dubai. That's what they use. And those ships are not expensive. It is a freaking ship with a pump. And that's all it is. And the reason I'm telling you that is you don't need a pump that could make islands. You just need pumps that you could move into place in situations like what happened this weekend. The government just needs to have the capacity to plan and execute. You have a local government municipal corporation with engineers and workers. You have a Ministry of Works with engineers and workers. You have a local government ministry with engineers and workers. You have contractors that you could hire. You have an army, 7,000 strong, running around in Shagarama's jungle playing tag because we have nothing else for them to do. And if you tag enough people, I will make you a major general. And if you're in the Coast Guard, just say you're jealous because we don't have a major general in the Coast Guard, so we will make you a rear admiral. What the freak is that? A rear admiral in a nation that have 9 ships with no gas. We are monkey mechanics. We are a jackass clan. Us, because we accept this tomfoolery. Keith Rowley went on the TV tonight and said tomorrow can't be a day off. The man is a madman. I sat for 40 minutes in traffic with the Grand Bazaar on my left, trying to go south. Joseph Camacho and David Gailey was in a van in front of me. Plenty of people see me because I get out after and film it. 40 minutes. 40 minutes from Grand Bazaar to Grand Bazaar. And that's a Sunday. What happens tomorrow morning when 200,000 people from South and Central and environs try to come to town? What happens then, Mr. Rowley? What Maruga magic are you going to work then What Lekoto bullshit you're going to pull out of your pixie dust bag and make everybody magically teleport into their schools and offices? What? Tutor had to send you a letter. I shared the letter on my Facebook. Tutor wants to ask if you're a madman. The terms of being a teacher, you just made it possible for every teacher in the country to fire the work. Trinidad, listen to this. This is the madness that passing for government in this country. Grant of time off in extraordinary circumstances, 25th of October 2017. This is this letter. The association continues to receive calls from its members. This is the same flood last year. We did this flood before. Insanity is having the same flood every year and learning nothing from it. The association continues to receive calls from its members who have been affected by the severe flooding that has inundated various parts of the country. It has also been brought to the attention of the association that unreasonable demands are being made of members who have been affected by the flood waters. In a recent radio broadcast, the Minister of Education reminded principals that they have a responsibility to ensure the health and safety of students, and if any situation arises where the health or the safety of the student is compromised, the principal in this case will dismiss the school. There is also the leave provision that exists, grant of time off in extraordinary circumstances with effect from the 1st of October 1997, where teachers are unable to report for duty or report on time by reason of a natural disaster, example storm, severe flooding, etc. This absence is to be treated as approved time off with pay by the permanent secretary. Tutor therefore reminds school administrators of the foregoing and to be mindful of how they respond to persons who seek to legitimately make use of these provisions. Tutor also urges members to bring to its attention via the established channels of communication any unfair treatment in this regard. The Prime Minister did it today. The Prime Minister did it with his press conference. The Prime Minister basically said, take your children to school, but what happens if the teachers can't get there? What happens if you finally, 4 hours, wake up 2 o'clock in the morning, wash down and bathe everybody, if you're lucky to have water, get them in the family car if you're so fortunate. If not, you're out on the main road looking for one of 9 taxis to get you there. And you reach the point where the wreckers and the trucks looking for their $700 to get you across the water. Inland ferry. Inland ferry. That's what you had across. And imagine that you magically triumph over all of those obstacles, only to get your child to the school, to get a call from the child to say, Daddy, come and pick me up, no teachers here today. Daddy, come and pick me up, no teachers made it to school. You cannot fire the teachers, especially if the teachers' houses have been decimated by the flood. You cannot. You do not have a plan. Your press conference today said, I, Prime Minister, have no plan. So what I am going to do is frustrate and distract the nation by the usual suspects, traffic and noise. So tell me tonight if you are comfortable with this level of toxic mismanagement as governance of your country. When he was hired, the terms and conditions wasn't be a son of a bitch. The terms and conditions wasn't do what the hell you like. The terms and conditions of a Prime Minister and his cabinet are clearly outlined. The problem in this country is we do not enforce the law. We do not enforce the rules. So Prime Ministers do what the hell they like and send the members of their political parties on TV show to frighten citizens of the country. Like when jackass Michael Kwamina came to tell you that you cannot ask legitimate questions of a Prime Minister brought into disrepute. But Kwamina had to be a madman. I told him that. I said, brother, so start with me. Start with me because Kid Rowley have questions to answer and he have a lot of court in his future. Keith Rowley have a lot of court in his future. So you, Kwamina, have a lot of money to make. If Donald Trump, I could not believe, I made a joke and I said, Donald Trump forget to flush it, make the news. The next day, I was making that as a joke. The next day, CNN carried film of Donald Trump walking up Air Force One with a piece of toilet paper on his shoe. And I'm wondering, how the hell is this news? How? And then you send your little talking heads to say the reason the place flood is because somebody threw 1 million fridge in the drain. Call them have that stupid. It's like all the black people in the country cussing one another. All you went and pick up all your appliances and fill up the drain. I live on the bank of the Diego Martin River. In my entire life, I swear to God, if a lie strike me dead now, I know the Diego Martin River. I fish in the Fatima and St. Mary's College River and catch wabin. I know them river. I could tell you how to get in and how to get out the river. And I have never in all of my years encountered a fridge, a stove, or a washing machine. So where is this happening? Where is this happening? Where is this place in Trinidad and Tobago where the people are so wealthy, they're flinging appliances in the drain, causing flood? Where? Or is it that, like Peter O'Connor, noted columnist and environmentalist, said, bad planning is the source and the reason for all that ails this country, and the failure of government after government after government to right historic wrongs leaves the people exposed. So when you double the Crystal Stream Highway without doubling the Crystal Stream River, you double the runoff and halved the capacity. So now when the rain falls in the hills, it's like flushing a teacup, flushing a toilet into a teacup. That is inescapable truth. Where do we go from here? Where do we as a nation go from here? 3 floods under Kamla, 2 under Rowley, 5 destructive, decimating, damaging floods. And we've learned nothing. We do not know how to manage water. We cannot capture it, hold it, treat it, and distribute it. There are water towers all over the United States. They serve a purpose that I learned last night. The water towers in the United States were built, and I know I've been speaking about peak and low capacity. At low capacity in a town, if they're using 500 gallons a minute, then the normal pressure in the normal city pump could handle distribution of water. But at 7 o'clock in the morning, when the entire town bathing and using the toilet and brushing the teeth, and 500 becomes 2,000 gallons a minute, the water, the drop in pressure sucks the water down from the water tower, and it is that high so that the water falling from on top there through the pipe exerts a ridiculous amount of pressure on the water in the entire system, increasing the amount of water to everybody. And at night, when the entire town is asleep and everybody's taps are turned off, the normal pressure in the normal city pump fills the tank back. And that is just simple science. And I learned that reading an article in How Stuff Works, and the preamble, and I couldn't believe what I read. And it said, you know how there are times when electricity may go, and cable may go, and phone may go, but water never goes? There's a reason water never goes. You see, those water towers fills that gap. So even if something happens in the distribution, it immediately triggers the water towers to fill the gap. So they know that they have 5 million gallons in assorted water towers all over the town before they have to reach into reserves and pump reserves. That is how a real country is run. We are 56 freaking years old. And we've not learned yet how to catch, store, treat, and distribute water in an island you could almost roller skate around. We are a mad-ass nation. To the people who find me when I talk and say, stop talking, help we. Jackasses, I can't help you alone. Your vote decides the country that we are. I see people, a man tell me today, stop talking and fix it. I said, brother, you want me to run the country? Tell Rowley step down. He said, you're playing smart. I said, no. You trying to have your cake and eat it too. You want to say Rowley is your prime minister and Philip Alexander solving the problems. You want them blue lights artists to be getting paid to do the job, but you want me to tell Stuart Young and Farris and Frank Wincan and Keith Rowley and Coleman Wood how to do their jobs. It don't work so. It can't work so. It can't. But your vote, like your labor and your consumption, if used correctly in your best interests, will dictate and determine a quality of life for you, your loved ones, and people you don't even know. The unwritten social contract supposed to be all of us rowing together in the same direction. A national vision. The bullshit Eric Williams gave you all to hold. Discipline, tolerance, and production is enslave yourself. We needed words as our national watchwords like excellence and respect, but we don't have those words. We want discipline, wabash, tolerance, wabash, production. Here's workers in a mine, take lash. Take lash. And Kenneth Ransom Jr., I read when you wrote today that you would have liked to see the PNM and the UNC and the PEP working together. I want to tell you something, and I wanted to answer you on the thread. You will never see the Progressive Empowerment Party working with those two criminal organizations who we hold responsible. The failure of epic proportions that allowed people to get the level of damage. I am not saying you could control the weather. We don't own any of them HARP devices as here about. But by Christ, rainfall is something that you could predict. Ask this girl, what's her name? Saroni, what's her name on CNC3? The latest Barbie doll. What they fire Eric Mackey for? Where we go in Trinidad and Tobago, you can't predict rain. You can plan for it. You can prepare for it. You can collect it. When you see you allow Price Plaza to build Price Plaza, it must come with a caveat. The town and country of planning or whoever is giving them permission to build those malls on what is the floodplain should be telling them that your runoff capacity now is 50,000 gallons. So you have to build in your design retention ponds for 50,000 gallons. You. Soak away in the bottom. So you build storm drains in the development and sluice gates that suck the rainwater in, holds it, and lets it soak down into the earth, into the aquifer, where it was supposed to go. If you don't want, you could contain it, you could keep it, or you could soak it away. We have soak away technology in this country since the 15th century. We use it for our latrine. This is a nation that is designed either to fail or has been operating by some clueless monkey mechanics from inception. And we cannot continue to accept. I watch a man's house, I watch him up to his neck in water in his living room. And in a real country, he should have been able to sue the government. Not wait for you to tell me what is my grant. I am suing you for distress. Suing you for distress. For loss of earnings, for distress, for mental, more stress. Torturous stress. When we come on this live video at night, it is not to run down our work. Or they hear how I just talk. When you bounce me up on the train and you talk shit, I will answer you straight. I ain't fooling you. Rowley and them fool you to get in the office, then to piss on your back and tell you it's rain falling. I'll tell you no. I cuss you to your face. Go bullshit me, I won't bullshit you. This is a simple arrangement we making. Hire us, we'll fix it. You don't want to hire us, live in the shit. I'm tired of saying all of these things I fight for don't affect me. I'm fighting for you. I'm fighting for a better country. For us to leave behind. For us to say this is where we come from. I'm born here. This is my Trinidad and Tobago. Mine. I'm born here. I don't want to have to go and learn Bajan or Dutch or an American accent or Canadian. I don't want to have to learn to live in Britain. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. I know all the streets and all the rivers, and I know how to get from here to there. And if I lost how to find my way, I'm happy here. I'm happy in my little rock in the sea. I like Trinidad and Tobago. I want to be able to live till I die here. Is that too much to ask? When she sang Now Leaving, I get goosebumps from my head to my toes. I say, this woman read my mind. I like to know that there are places in this country, far-flung places, that when they see me, it's, hey, but we are here for years. I went to feed the homeless in town today with the PRO of the Progressive Empowerment Party, Janice Lemon Creaky, and she heard homeless people calling me by my name, asking me, so what happened? You forget we? You let me go? What they say, you're a politician, so you don't come and check people, and you know me? This is my country. It's your country. We have to defend it. We have to insist on better for it. We have to avoid all the stunting bullshit, all the divisive nonsense. I don't care if you black like a blackboard, if chalk could write on your skin. I don't see that. I don't watch that. I don't care if you come on the Fatah Razak or under it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Look at my wall. Look at my friends. Look at who I associate with. I watch a black man sit in court and talk about he does eat lunch with one Syrian family, wash his car in the next Syrian house, and go partying with white boys. This is his actual testimony in court. I don't know that. I live with everybody, and if you live in good with me, you could be black, white, red, green, any shade in between. I live good with everybody. I do not truck bullshit. I'm not in the bullshit trucking business. Don't lie to me. Don't pretend for me. Don't expect me to pretend for you. If I know you to be a drug trafficking, money laundering son of a bitch, I don't care what color Rolex you're wearing. If I know you to be a corrupt son of a bitch, and you and your wife and your mother and your father and your mother, brother and your sister, and all you make all your money, thieving from the treasury, I'm not going to lie to you and pretend to you that I like you. Because I don't. Because by your existence, life has been made harder for everybody else. And that momentum is going to bite me and you in your ass. Unlike you, I am capable of seeing it, anticipating it, and trying to prevent it from happening. If theft wasn't causing a problem for everybody else, brother, thief till you're dead. Thief till you're dead. See how big a coffin they could get and put all in it. Like them gangbangers who just want hundreds and a bottle of Henny and a bottle of Prosecco in their coffin, like jackasses. Jackasses. They bury you draped in gold. I mean, what the ass is that? I mean, we're really stupid. We're really stupid. Ask all the wealthy, ask all the heirs. Ask all of those who stood up in the most expensive church, listening to the most expensive priest, talking the most expensive shit. The dead still dead. We have one life to live. Live it well. Live it well so that when you leave, what you leave, it's better for everybody, not worse. Not worse. When you come to the table and there are food on the table, make sure that you leave enough food on the table that everybody else gets some. Christ, how hard is that? How difficult is that? Anyway, the Progressive Empowerment Party, all of the members of the party, led by Shari Wilson and Felicia Holler, chairman and party organizer, unrespectively, did human service. Janice, Usha Debedine, the whole team came out, Christian De Leon, or known as Daniel Jackson. I mean, today, the 4x4 club. I even get their name properly. Them fellas went out, the whole off-roaders and Trinidad and Tobago. I understand these off-roaders who spend lots of money on their own vehicles to get their vehicles ready for days like this, so that they could go and mount rescues. These are the off-roaders that find you if you went off the road and stop and pull you back on the road with their winch and their fanciness. And I understand that they're having some difficulties with the laws and how licensing office, because we're in the dark ages. When you buy a brand new Nissan van that touched down in Trinidad and it come with fog lights, you just have to get a letter excusing you. Like, miss, could I go to the toilet to pee? In case the police pull you over, that you could show you have permission for that. This is mad-ass, toxically dysfunctional country. That's my new word, toxic. It's toxic. It's toxic to live in a nation and watch people sit in traffic Sunday trying to go south, trying to come north, and they can't. And they cannot. And it is madness, and there's no detours, and there's no plan B. You could destroy Trinidad and Tobago by cutting off that highway. What you telling me? We don't have a plan B around that? We couldn't make a detour? The Progressive Empowerment Party continues its relief effort. Rose Chin was the first person to stop and put money in our hands Saturday morning, which facilitated us to go and buy endless cases of water. And I want to tell her thank you very much for being such a civic-minded patriot. We love you and appreciate the work that you did. Thank you for that. And Jacques-Claude Escalante, who never thought he could have catch and thrown 100 cases of water, learned to his own detriment this weekend what that feels like. And I'm sure at some point I will hear that he had to ask his mother to rub aloes on his back. But they real work. They real work. Glenn Robinson. I mean, the team came out. They worked hard. I watched the ladies pack out them hampers in a one. Mrs. Stone and her daughter came to the office today because she knew we were working and dropped food for the staff. Just that. Gavin Winston called Philip. We have sent the lunches. I'm bringing it down. Bring it, brother. We went and we fed the homeless inside of all of that. When we reached, the homeless tell me today, boy, we ate for 3 days. They forget we. The government responsible for the condition of the homeless. The government is supposed to treat with them with dignity and respect, regardless of the choices they made that got them there, and regardless of how they carry themselves now. That shouldn't color and dictate how you treat with the people of the country when you are the manager of the country. But this seems to get lost in translation when we appoint these charlatans to public office, whose only mission in life is to go and wash their car by rich people's house in Sinclair. My greatest joy would be the establishment of the Second Chance Foundation in Trinidad and Tobago that takes all of the homeless off the street, not catch them in dog catcher vans like Louis Leasing did, but to bring them off the street into a facility where they can be evaluated, because most people who are homeless fall into one of three or multiples of the three categories. You are either mentally ill, you are drug addicted, or you have fallen through the cracks of society. The first two needs medicating, institutionalizing, and treating. The last one, we could right-size you and get you back on your feet and send you on your way. The Second Chance Foundation, if we get that up and running, if we get literacy first will treat all of the people in Trinidad and Tobago. Once you come to the state for any assistance whatsoever, you have to have a literacy test. Prove that you could read and you could write. If you cannot read and you cannot write, a 12-week beginner's course that will give you the ability to read and write. The quick brown fox jumped over the sleeping dog. Sign your name and open a door to you that if you pursue it, will open the world. The Second Chance Foundation and Literacy First were presented to Kamla Prasad Misesa when she was in the Red House in 2010. Met with her and Glenn Ramadas Singh and the whole Jericho project. And they dismissed it. Ended up working with Gary Griffith because I went to meet Gary Griffith about literacy first when the other part of the UNC wouldn't take it on, and Gary said, yes, I like it. Go and talk to my second in command, the junior minister, whatever I think his name was Kunumumu or something from NJAC. He used to come to the meetings and fall asleep. He used to come to the meetings and fall asleep, and I'm talking to him about people that his organization, National Joint Action Committee, say they represent, and we say that this literacy is the reason most of the people who are in jail are in jail. They're not there for weed, they're there because they carried. And on the issue of weed, there are too many people in this nation's prisons whose only crime is getting high. Let them go. Time served. It is time to decriminalize marijuana for personal use. Angostura and Carib are doing the same thing that marijuana does, gets you high. Why is one legal and the other illegal? Why? We need, and I'm telling you, to transform our jails into universities. You see, some of you all don't want to hear this because I'm touching the bottom rung of society, because you don't understand. I tried to explain to Andy Johnson today. It is the role of the government to deal with not the top, not the middle, but the bottom. Because if you buoy the bottom, they will increase the middle, and the middle will hold up the top, and the whole nation will make sense. We have this jackass idea of trickle-down economics that only trickle from the mouth to the pocket. It don't reach the bottom. It don't reach. But God, in his infinite wisdom, have to know why I am so driven for this. Because if this goes nowhere, then it would have been a decade wasted. 12 years. But Janice said to me today, because I asked her, I said, Janice, are we wasting our time? Are we wasting our time? And Janice said, no. The mission is the mission. And I remember when I was told that the perfect act of giving stops at the gift. What they do with it is not yours. It has nothing to do with you. That is not your issue. Yeah. We need to fix this country. The middle class needs to understand that if the state focuses all of its energy on right-sizing the bottom rung of society, they will inflate the middle class. They spend up. They spend up in volumes. And if you give them the opportunity at that level to make money, they will send it up. And it is in that way the whole country. Anyway, we'll get to that again. The mission continues. The 4x4 Club, who has done human service in the past 2 days, and to all the members, Akil Camps, who sort out his business and his flat tire to come down the road and load up water and take it to find strangers and get them. Andre Ashe, I didn't know Andre Ashe know how to catch and throw water. He's moved like a real big shot. The team performed brilliantly. The Progressive Empowerment Party performed brilliantly. And we are going to continue. And tomorrow morning, Harry Hunt and Usha Debidine and Janice are coordinating the shifts that are at the office, 19 Stanmore Avenue. If you want to donate food, make sure it's non-perishable food. If you want to donate water, bring by the 100 case. We have need for it. If you want to start to donate things like bleach, disinfectant, garbage bags, brooms, mops, those people are going to need that. If you would like to make donations of money, we go to PriceSmart and Hilo by the 1% and buy the stuff to take. You could come with us, you could bring it yourself, you could go and pay it and bring the bill, all of those things, we don't mind. But we're making sure that we distribute. So this is a call right now. Felicia Holland, Janice Lemon Creaky and Satish Ramsaran and Richard Blaze and Shari Wilson and all of the team are available and listening here. And if you would like to, please help these people, your brothers and sisters. You don't have to help through us, help through anybody. Just make sure the help getting there. But help them, help them. Today we had a certain amount of stock and we're taking it to go, and they're calling me and saying they have $1,000 in the office and we want to take that $1,000 and spend it. And I say, no, that $1,000 is for to run the party. We will find it back, we will get it back. That's the kind of heart these people have. That's the kind of heart these people have. I want to encourage you to join them. Join them. Be like that. Have a love for people you've not met. Be driven by making their condition better. That's the example the Progressive Empowerment Party want to give to the country. That by our existence, all of us, others have a better life. That should be all of our mission, all of our drive, all of our purpose. We should want a better country for ourselves and for others. Because if we do it, the country that we're looking out for, the country that we say we want, if we do it, it will happen as if by magic. All of these people that are committing crime at the lowest level, all this shoot them up and stick them up and rob them and break in, those are people that have no hope or opportunity. Nobody wakes up and wants to join a gang, regardless of what the bullshit artists tell you. I mean, I listen to everybody, but they have some people in Trinidad and Tobago, they should revoke their license to talk because all they just talk is bullshit. Human beings all have the same needs, from the top of Goodwood Park to the bottom of Sealots. Human beings all have the same needs. And once we make sure that everybody's needs are being met, we good to go. As a nation, we good to go. We need to get back there. If you are in a position to assist your brothers and sisters, you want to come and help us, reach out to the team. We're looking for a couple $1,000. Jamal Hussain come today to drop some Pampers and thing, and I say, Jamal, help me raise $6,000 for our next 300 case of water. And Jamal dip in the pocket and pull out $1,000 and hand Janice. And I say, boy, I gotta tell you thanks, and I know you don't do it for this kind of thanks, but thank you, brother. Thank you very, very, very much. And help us help. Because the better country that we want is going to happen by example. Strangers need to see strangers doing good by them to wake it up in them and pay it forward. We need to be positive ripples in this pond. I am overjoyed at the outpouring of everyday people, black, white, red, green, Syrian, Chinese, black, Indian, everybody working together and loving it. I've seen all these small companies that could barely afford it, making all of their service available. It's like Blue Water saying the warehouse open, come and take. They'll never say that. It's like Massey saying the stores open, help yourself. They'll never say that. But that's what these small businesses doing. I watch a woman who owns a cleaning company. She say, anybody house, anywhere, message me, I will come and clean it. That's how real people operate. If you want to assist, and we in North, we in South, we in Central, we in East. You could help the team anywhere. Reach out to Ann Punwa, Teresa Marquez, reach out to any of the team. Talk to any of them and they'll guide you. Or you could message me and I'll put you in touch with them. Look, the country that we want, the country that we deserve, the country that we want to leave for our children is a vote away. I have something to tell you. We need to talk. It's not working. I'm trying, but it's not working, Keith. I don't feel like you're pulling your weight in this relationship. I really think that the time has come for us to go our separate ways. I don't know how I'm going to get along without you all, but starting tomorrow, I'm going to try. Because I need to do better. I think I deserve better than what I'm getting in this relationship. I was promised real representation. I'm not getting that. I was promised a whistleblower legislation so that I can find all the corrupt sons of bitches in this government and your past government. You promised me that. I ain't get it. I feel like you betrayed me. I feel like you lied to me. The words that you use to get me is not the words that you're using to keep me. Your actions making a lie of your words. And I think that we have to bring this to an end.
If I get the yes, you go to them in. And it's only tears as soon as they win. They give you the words that enslaves your soul, promising your roads and giving bottles. If they are the reason why the economy won't sprout, when you voted for them out, for them out. If it is the passing laws that them alone can flout, when you voted for them out, for them out. If it is the building ice laws, east, west, north, and south, let's just say that vote them in, vote them out. Register and vote them out. Totally vote them out. State your finger and vote them out. Rest them and your system. Vote them out with temper. They happy in vain. Let's put our country together again. Vote them out of power. 38 the rain. Let's put our country together again.
The nation that we want is on the other side of the choices that we make. This entire week here, the Progressive Empowerment Party, our office is open from 8 to 4. We're receiving supplies. Buy it and bring it. Cook it and make it. Let us know you're coming so we can plan where it's going. Let us make it happen. Let us do well by ourselves and by each other. Let us set a vision for a better country. Ignore these stunting jackasses. Listen, you see how you don't forget Manning and you forget Pandey? It's time to forget Rowley and forget Kamala. It is time to move on. It is time to break up with these toxic relationships. It is time to say, this not working. I am not benefiting from this. I do not feel like I am coming out of this a better person. I do not benefit. I deserve better. Say that. This is toxic. You cannot be my prime minister in 3 days in that crisis and I hear one word from you. And the first time you come to talk, you talk shit. Come on, man. What are you doing in this? I deserve better. I want to hear that from the bottom of Cocorite Hill, from Abi Pujad, Big Yard and Scorpion, all the way down in La Hoqueta, Talpa, Road Enterprise. I want to get that resonating from Mbakade and Rapai Village. I want Trinidadians to say, this PNM, UNC revolving chairs, musical chairs, this revolving door of toxicity is destroying our country. Too many of our people have gone to their graves after living lives of total squalor and desperation because of the bandit clans that own these two parties. It is time to undo and redo Trinidad and Tobago. It is time to reboot the Republic. It is time to go back to August 31st, 1962 and start it over. We want to say, Eric Williams, you son of a bitch, you failed. And we will wipe your memory off of history. From capitalism to slavery and back again. Like this next clown from Mason Hall to Whitehall, but he never sat down in Whitehall. Even his autobiography is a lie. Trinidad and Tobago, if you want a better country, Now is the time. You will never have a stronger champion. This country knows, even the detractors of the Progressive Empowerment parties have to admit, but they're right though. And as go and watch all the shares, as watch all the shares, I don't like to agree with this fella, you know, but they're right. I don't want to vote for them, you know, but I feel I have to because they're right. You don't like me. I don't like you. The relationship is based on delivery, service, representation. We need a better country. I want it. You want it. Let's work together to build it. The Progressive Empowerment Party is some of the brightest, best, beautiful, most beautiful, strongest people you will ever want to meet. People who willfully gave up their weekend. From the moment we identified who among the team were not affected by the floods, those people came out and they served. And we got soaked time after time and we worked to go and serve others. That's what the mission is. That's what the mission. A man asked me today, he said, where was PEP and all of this? And I just shared pictures and posts and he apologized at the bottom. He said, I did not know. I said, blame the corrupt and biased media. Anyway, 3474-PEP is the hotline. 3474-PEP, that's the hotline. peptrinbago@gmail.com is the primary email address. peptt.com is the website. We have a YouTube channel. Maya Khan can direct you to the YouTube channel. I still don't have the name. PEP app, P-E-P-A-P-P, the PEP app, that is available. That is the PEP app, and it is free to download on any of the app stores. We are at 19 Stanmore Avenue. We're working to open in South. We're begging for tables, chairs, fridges, filing cabinets, whiteboards, anything that goes to make up an office, anything that you would like to help, donate, gently use, whatever you have, bring it. Because we're the strength of the people. Empowerment Party. Nobody making phone calls and say, Phil, you remember when we used to play ball cricket? I said, no, friend. No. This ain't that. This is not that. We're going into government to fix this country, not for friends and family, but for a better nation. If you want that, if what you want is a better country for yourself and for your loved ones, if you want your children to play in safety, if you want your elders to live in peace, if you want a country where the law applies to everybody equally, if you want a nation that works, where water's in your taps, where the delivery of services from government and state are yours by right and dint of citizenship, if you want a nation where the Ministry of Finance has to account to you for every dollar spent and the banks must treat you like you are a customer, if you want a nation that works against gouging, corruption, white-collar criminality, if you want secured borders and an end to the drug trade, if you want an education system that leaves no child behind, if you want a nation where anybody who wants a job could have a job and anybody who has a job and wants to own a home could get one, vote for the Progressive Empowerment Party. This party was built on the premise of one people under one flag, all of us deserving the same level play field, the same hope and opportunity. If that is what you want, join us. Until we speak again, stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.